loops in my lace and make lightning lose in a race. I make fire cool and come back from the triangle in Bermuda. I can suit up, live in the moon, working and outsmarting computers. I can outswim all the tuna, and that's without a scuba. So in the laws of nature, I'm breaking the rules. Only thing I'm bad at is being a loser. I can make time traveling a surprise, make graveyards feel alive, break the immortal down to his demise. Look up and beam to the stars so you can turn off the lights. I come alive in the dark, and I keep getting stronger. Tonight I hunt with the pride. You can't take my pride away. I can sing with the birds and the trees in the morning, or roll like the storms way over the ocean. My limit's the sky. I do the impossible, impossible.
We are pleased, as always, to be bringing you coverage of the National Football League on EA Sports. Today, we've got a good Week 5 matchup in store here between the Dallas Cowboys and the Los Angeles Rams. The first quarter of the season already in the rear-view mirror, and off we go in Week 5 on EA Sports. And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully. They'll start the drive with Elliott. And he will lose yardage and be backed up to the 24. It'll go as a loss of a yard on the game's first play. Second down.
Well, they set the power set out there, and their job is to be man-on-man and move people so they can run the football. But that time, too many men didn't get moved in the box defensively. They end up throwing him for a loss.
A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. Here's Prescott. Left side to Lamb. So 5 yards here, 5 on the play. And now 3rd down and 6 to go. They are in need of 6 yards here if they hope to move the chains. On 3rd down, it's Prescott. Open man Lamb, it's complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before they reach the 50. And a nice gain of 21 yards.
Oh, that was a nice job there. Quarterback and receiver reading the pressure that was brought. They both knew it was going to open up the middle of the field. Nice little shake and bake at the line of scrimmage. Got right into his route. And the quarterback hit him in stride, and he was able to run free after the catch.
He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4. Well, this defense for the Rams, they had certainly had their struggles to start the season, but they put it all together in getting that first victory a week ago.
And the big difference in the ball game, their ability to force turnovers, 3 of them in fact. Being able to take the ball away, give it back to their offense, that's something that's emphasized each and every week, and they carried it out.
And he'll be brought down at about the 42. Just a couple on the pickup there, and now it's 3rd down.
And this is why aggressive defense coordinators love to blitz. It wreaks havoc because they end up taking their attention to the blitzers, freed up the D lineman to make the play.
So 3rd and 2. This quite possibly 4-down territory, though, if they're stopped. Throwing. Prescott. Swinging this out for Pollard. And he will have a Cowboys first down. It's a gain of 6 that time on 3rd and 2. Solid opening drive so far, Charles. They've moved this football into field goal range, but you know that they want to cap this off with 6 and not 3.
Absolutely. As one of the better coaches in the league always tells me, on offense, I want their body blows all game long and finish it with uppercuts. Well, here are the body blows right now. He's hoping in one uppercut will take care of the end of this drive.
A big play there on the catch and run, and it'll result in a fresh set of downs.
A lot of precision being shown on this opening drive. They've been methodical, they've been crisp, and as a reward, they're going to be set up with an early 1st and goal.
Now Elliott. They'll get this halfway home from the 8 to the 4 on a gain of 4.
As long as you've been the air attack that's gotten them down here, but now's where you start to lean on that running game. That's a good pickup there on 1st and goal.
2nd and goal from inside the 5. Here's a quick throw by Dak, complete out wide. Touchdown! CeeDee Lamb. His third touchdown now on the year. And the Cowboys are on the board first on the road here in L.A. Extra point by Moore, up and good. And it's now a 7-0 game. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. And Williams going to sit on this one. It'll be a touchback. Stafford and the Rams come up 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. Off the fake to Akers. Here's Stafford. All right, rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted. Well, that's certainly not the start that they envisioned, Charles. You give up the long touchdown drive, and there, an interception on their first play from scrimmage.
Brandon, I wonder if the mindset was simply, well, that was a long touchdown drive. Their defense might be a little relaxed and feel like, hey, we're in good shape now having 7 in hand. Maybe they just thought, let's take the shot at them right now. Instead, it went against them.
And all the way down inside the 5 to the 4. The pickup goes for 13 and sets him up 1st and goal.
Now, that was an excellent run. And when you see that happen, that's when you're seeing guys doing their job and then some people doing a little bit more. Offensive linemen and tight ends, they're expected to block. But the wide receivers, all they want to do is catch passes. So when they block on a big-time running play and create extra space, you've got to hit the jackpot there. This is where good coaching and execution come into play, because down this close, you absolutely don't want to turn it over. Good job keeping that in mind as he escaped, bought time, and decided throwing it away was his best option.
Line of scrimmage, again the 4-yard line, 2nd and goal. And he'll get it down close to the goal line, but not quite in. They get 3 yards closer, but still work to do. It's 3rd and goal.
You got to be ready for anything when you play defense against this head coach. That is not something you'd expect to see here in the red zone, but it winds up getting them a few yards.
Well, they'd really like to make the short field pay off. We'll see if they can. And he'll get in. Touchdown, Cowboys. Ezekiel Elliott. His 7th rushing touchdown on the year. And the Cowboys have taken a 13-0 first quarter lead. Extra point by Moore, up and good. And it's now 14-0. The kick team out there for the Cowboys as they run up to send this one away. And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken. Set to begin their next drive, the Rams offense at the line. And they're in an early hole. The first drive, they threw the interception. That led to a touchdown, so decent-sized deficit early on.
It is, but I think you hit the key words, early on. So they have to decide, do we even need to change game plan, or do we just need to execute better and try and get back in this game?
Ball on the 30. They'll come up with a 2nd and 5. Now it's Stafford. He'll get this complete to Cooper Kupp. Stafford to his #1 guy, Kupp, for a Los Angeles first.
As he gets the first down, let's take a look at what Cooper Kupp did last season, because it was one of the greatest years for a receiver in NFL history. 145 catches, 1,947 yards, both second most in a season all time. Truly an MVP caliber performance for the Super Bowl champs, and he capped it off in the Super Bowl himself as the MVP.
So their task a little bit more difficult now. 2nd and 13 that they're walking up on. Stafford. Flushed out. Oh, a hit. He lost the football. Stafford puts it on the ground. It's picked up by the Cowboys. And this is going to be brought back for a fumble return touchdown by the Cowboys. Marr now to add the extra point. It's good, and before you know it, it's 21-0. So how about this for a start? 21-0 here in the first as they kick this one away. And Williams going to sit on this one. It'll be a touchback. Set to begin their next drive, the Rams offense at the line. Well, CD, you kind of feel like they're in a bit of a danger zone right here because now you're down 3 scores, and I know we're in the first half, but the way this offense hasn't been able to generate anything, you feel like they probably need to get something going on this drive, right?
Yeah, and sometimes I overuse it. This is an important possession. But I think this has to be the possession where they come up with an answer because only a few teams in league history have ever come back from a 4-score deficit. And if they don't score here, that's what they could be facing the next time they get the ball.
Second catch for him today, and it'll wind up a first down.
Well, these guys certainly need something good to go their way because this first quarter has been something of a disaster for them trying to move the ball. But that completion there maybe can get them focused and moving in the right direction.
They'll run on first down with Akers. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up.
Well, any lane that might have been open there was closed pretty quickly, and that was because the defensive front, they won that battle at the point of attack at the line of scrimmage. They used great leverage, held their spot, and stacked him up.
And he's fortunate to get anything from that. Give him a yard up to the 49. 21-0 our score after 1. And it looks like we've got a dime set here defensively. 6 DBs in the game. To throw is Stafford. Thrown across his body, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Malik Hooker. And the Cowboys are going to take possession as they've got it at the 42-yard line.
When a team's turned it over 3 times in the first half, we just look at the offense and say, guys, what are you doing? But instead, we really should be looking at the defense. They've created the takeaways. 2 interceptions, 1 caused fumble. They played awfully well swarming to the ball here in the first half.
Flush to his right. And he wisely will throw that one away.
Well, sometimes the defense just beats you. Great coverage from the secondary, all of them in the proper position. So instead of trying to throw into tight coverage, he found a way to throw it away and come back and try again the next down.
He's got the hook up to Odell Beckham. And he'll be tackled on the other side of midfield at the 46-yard line. First down, Prescott. On the out route, it's Lamb with a grab. And he'll be out just a yard or 2 shy of the 30. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. From the shotgun, a give to Elliott. Give him a couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8.
You've got to be impressed by that defensive front on reps like those. They were not being moved off the line, kept their shoulders square, and gave their teammates time to fight to the ball and limit that gain.
On 2nd down, Elliott once more. And he is into the end zone for a Cowboy touchdown. Ezekiel Elliott, his 2nd touchdown of the game and his 9th on the year. And the Cowboys are able to widen their lead here in this first half. Extra point by Marr, up and good. And that makes the score 28-0. And Williams going to sit on this one. It'll be a touchback. Set to begin their next drive, the Rams offense at the line. They are looking to make a bit of a 180. They are sputtering right now.
And frankly, I think it's time to call your playmakers together and say, all right, guys, we're going to lean on you through this patch. We need you to get us back on track and get us going in the right direction. So you're calling plays geared to them. Not necessarily when you look at your plays, oh, this hurts the defense. I want the ball in the hands of X, Y, and Z and see if we can move forward.
So don't get too cute. Go to the playmakers. And that's good for a gain of 6. And that'll leave them with a 3rd and 2.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
They'll try and run for this with Akers. And he's able to get the first before he's taken down at the 36. Give him 3 yards and a fresh set of downs. That right there, a good sign for a team that's had trouble converting third down so far this year. They're in the bottom 5 in the NFL, but they come through there.
Yeah, and I bet if we put our guy Marvin on the case and say, Marvin, tell us where they rank on 3rd and what, right? I bet they're in the top 5 in the league on 3rd and 5, 3rd and 6, 3rd and 7 or more, because that's how you end up not converting. Just too much yardage to pick up on 3rd down.
16 yards is the pickup there, and a first down for L.A. Back to throw, Stafford. Open man, Higbee, the tight end. And he'll be brought down just shy of the 40.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there's an incompletion that would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
On 3rd down, here's a run by Akers. And that one going nowhere from the start as he's met in the backfield and goes backwards. This defense not budging. Back-to-back carries of just 2 yards.
This defense has really flown around in the first half. They've gotten to the ball carrier before they can really get started. Offense got to come up with something else in order to try and get this running game going.
And I tell you what, he got it from 58. That had lots of leg behind it, and that drops a deficit from 28 to 25. So from an offensive perspective, at least able to get on the board here right in front of the 2-minute warning.
Yeah, now it's time to talk about complementary football, isn't it? Because if the defense can force a 3 and out, there could be enough time on the clock that they can get the ball back for their offensive guys and maybe put some more points on the board before the half.
They start on the ground with Elliott. And he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. 2nd down.
Not a huge carry there on 1st down, but not all of them will be. But still, all in all, a positive play for the offense. It's all about picking up at least a few to set up what you're going to do here on 2nd down.
Prescott off play action. Man open, that's complete to Dalton Schultz. He'll be hit down at the 33, 5 yards on the play.
I know sometimes we can get fooled when we watch him make catches, as we just saw him do there, because he really looks like a wide receiver the way he goes about his business.
Yeah, 230, 240 range.
Yeah, not super huge. Maybe not counted on to be that inline point-of-attack blocker that we used to have in the good old days, but you can flex him out. You can run wide receiver routes with him. You can make him a primary target, and that's how he'll shred a defense.
73 yards rushing for him as he has been tough to stop here in this first half.
Now, this is an example of breaking down a defense, because on a lot of these runs, he's getting past the point of attack, and guess what he's doing? Forcing the secondary guys to have to make a lot of tackles.
And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. It's a gain of 35. And I don't quite know what's happening here. It's a first down, but the field goal team is out onto the field. Marr able to put this one through, and that will extend their lead even further. So everything else has gone right in this first half. Kind of follows that it would for their kicker, too, as he adds 3 more onto the lead.
Yeah, and the way that this one's gone, definitely not looking like he's going to have to worry too much about pressure kicks late in the game. He can go out there free and easy, just work on his form, and he knocked that one through.
Set to begin their next drive, the Rams offense at the line. And Charles, we'll see what they can do here. Not a ton of time left, but enough certainly to get points out of this drive, and they need them right now because they're trailing.
Yeah, this is exactly why you practice a 2-minute drill all through camp and at least one practice each week before a game. A minute left, more than enough time to string a few completions together, reach the end zone, and then make that walk back to the locker room just a little more animated.
So they'll get 8 out of that completion, and that'll bring up a 2nd down in just a couple. Here's Stafford.
Throws to his man on the out route. It's complete. That's Robinson.
And he's got this down a yard or two shy of the 40 before he's out of bounds.
A couple of vets. Stafford to Robinson there. First down, Rams.
To the air again, Stafford.
That's out to the flat for Akers. And they're going to get this down to about the 37.
The Rams going to go ahead and use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with a little over 30 seconds to go in the first half of play.
Here's 2nd and 5 now from the 37.
Stafford now to throw. And the Cowboys' pressure gets there this time for the sack. Now another timeout called for by the offense as they'll stop it with 27 seconds remaining here in the second quarter.
So now Stafford and the Rams after the sack. They're staring up at a 3rd and long.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw.
And that is incomplete. But the pressure there on 3rd down, forcing the errant pass. 4th down coming up.
So a couple of first downs on this drive, but it's looking like another empty possession.
And those empty possessions are certainly starting to pile up. So the adjustments that teams talk about all the time have to be taking place. They've got to analyze what's breaking down and figure a way to fix it.
And I don't think this has the carry. It does not. It's no good, and they will remain well behind.
And now 2 problems as I see it. First, you missed the kick, which granted was a long one. But second, you set the other guys up with great field position and enough time to maybe get downfield and get a field goal attempt of their own.
So we've come to halftime after a very one-sided beginning to this one. As we send you to our EA studios in Orlando, here's Jonathan Coachman with our EA Sports Halftime Report. The Rams set to receive the second half kickoff, and they trail here as we resume play. Set to begin their next drive, the Rams offense at the line.
CD, they certainly know the hole that they face as they begin the second half. They have to do what precious few teams have done in NFL history. That's try to come back from a 4-possession deficit.
And partner, you know, as that team gathers, they're saying to each other, you never say never, right? Because if you're on an NFL roster, that's how you have to think. You can always come back and win a ball game. And let's face it, we saw a certain Super Bowl, a 25-point lead late, that wasn't enough to put someone away. But that being said, this task is near impossible. Let's face it. And bottom line is, it officially becomes impossible if this possession is an empty one.
And he drops it incomplete, and their struggles continue here.
And that's a play to applaud because these RPOs, things happen so quickly. And that ball's out of the quarterback's hands fast. He read it and reacted and was there to hit him as the ball arrived at the receiver. Big-time read, big-time play.
Oh, he's got a little daylight. And he's going to be out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40.
48 yards rushing for him now on what was his 10th carry of the ball game.
So from Cowboy territory now, here's 1st and 10 at the 37-yard line. They'll run with a backup. This is Williams. And not a whole lot of room to operate there on the first down run. He gets maybe 3.
But that's just a pile of bodies there, and that's when you kind of find out who's a tough guy, right? Who can stand up and make a play. It was only a 3-yard run, but for both sides, they had to walk away from that field like, okay, I can stand up when the going gets tough in here.
Meanwhile, Stafford's throw pulled in by Hopkins. And he's going to get this down near the 25.
I don't know what they talked about at halftime. Whatever it was, it worked. They look like a different team here in the third quarter.
Yeah, I doubt that there are very many trash cans that got kicked over, that type of a speech. I think what they did was they analyzed what worked in the first half, what didn't, and figured out a better game plan.
Stafford hooking up with Akers. And they're going to be set up now with the ball at the 13-yard line.
Well, maybe this offense has learned something from watching their counterparts work. I wonder if their coaching staff said, let's do what they've been doing the entire game, because that's worked well. This offense, they have not looked particularly good all game long.
On Stafford for the third time is intercepted. Picked up by Leighton Vander Esch. There he goes left side. So it was a drive that had real promise here to begin the third quarter, but ultimately derailed by the INT.
And that was the position you wanted to be in. Coming out to start this third quarter, get a nice drive going, looking for the end zone. Possibly got a little bit too greedy right there.
So 1st and 10, and if they score on this drive, might have to start digging in our second half blowout material.
Up the middle, here's Elliott. And he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. Second down.
Let's give a lot of credit to the offensive line. They've been able to move the ball really well on the ground the entire game, and while that wasn't a huge one, that's okay. They'll take them in short, steady bursts.
Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense. It's just their first, so 2 remaining as they burn one here in this third quarter. And down to a knee. That's one way to call a play. And now what the heck is this? A punt formation from the red zone? They only punted twice in the win last week as he gets this one away. Yeah, he was looking for the checkup bounce, didn't get it. That scoots all the way into the end zone now for a touchback. Set to begin their next drive, the Rams offense at the line.
As this offense takes the field against CD, remember last drive they were moving the football, but then they threw that costly interception, so we'll see if they can right the ship here on this drive.
And doesn't that just sum up football? We see it all the time, don't we? The defense goes from losing the battle to making a huge play and stealing the momentum. So you know they're riding high right now, and they're ready to challenge this offense and that quarterback one more time.
And we'll see if the offense is up for that challenge here as things start to get more interesting here in the second half.
6 yards the pickup, and that's a first down.
A torn Achilles was supposed to end Akers' 2021 season before it actually began. 5 months later, in a miraculous recovery, Akers made it back and helped the Rams win the Super Bowl. Now everyone in LA wants to know, how does he follow up that yeoman performance?
On first down, they'll stay with Akers on the ground.
And he'll get this up to about the 40. And that time the tackle by Malik Hooker.
That's a really nice, tough run inside, and they gained 5 yards on it. And to be frank about it, most offenses don't expect to get 5 yards on a play call like that. So when they do, they go back to their huddle with a little pep in their steps. They're starting to think that they're starting to dominate the line of scrimmage.
And they're going to get this up to midfield.
And that's a more than acceptable read right there because it's zone coverage, so timing is everything. This time he waits for his man to come open, puts it right on him, and they pick up a first down.
Flag comes in. This might be a free play. He gets this into the hands of Kupp once again.
And they're going to get this down to about the 37.
So with the completed pass and the yardage they got, they'll decline the penalty.
So obviously more yards on the pass completion than they would have gained with the penalty. They did the math. They did it well, and it works for them.
Stafford going to give this to Akers.
And he gets it down to the 32.
65 yards rushing for him now to this point.
Not too many offenses want to turn down long drives, but when you're down what they are, they've got to pay it off with some points.
The last run got 6, now 2nd and 4. Stafford. Open man right side is Kupp, complete. And he's going to have another first down here as the tackle's made at the Cowboys' 20-yard line. They pick up 12 on the play there, and they move the chains. Still in search of their first touchdown of the game, but they're on the move. 1st and 10. From the red zone now, Stafford. Looking end zone, but it's incomplete.
Well, partner, they certainly played up to their top 10 defensive ranking this week. They've stifled this opposing offense throughout this game. This contest is now lopsided because of their efforts, and there's still a quarter to go.
On 2nd and 10, Stafford. Oh, he dropped it. They were looking for him in the middle third. He couldn't catch it. Now 3rd down.
Well, they certainly aren't letting up today, partner, because they've forced big turnovers already, and it's been incredibly tough for them to get yards against, let alone put points up on the board.
Again, it's Stafford.
Complete. Jefferson the target. And the Rams are going to have 1st and goal as they try to finish off this drive with 6 points. They'll run here with Akers.
And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Rams.
His 4th rushing touchdown on the year, number 6 overall. And the Rams get a bit closer.
Extra point by Gay is up and good. And that'll cut the lead back down to 21. Following the touchdown, here's Gay to kick it away. About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense.
Still operating with a comfortable lead despite the score a moment ago as they begin 1st and 10. Bobby Wagner, the all-pro, in on the tackle.
Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again 2nd and 10.
Prescott's going to keep this.
And he's going to be dropped following a pickup of 7 past the 30 to the 32. The keeper gets him 7 that time, but it'll lead to a 3rd down. We have played 3 quarters. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. The Cowboys on 3rd down. A perfect 4 for 4 thus far. This time it's 3rd and 3. He's got a man complete.
And he's going to get this down near the 25.
Even with the big lead here in the 4th, it still bombs away, and frankly, it's working. Why should they stop? Go ahead and keep firing away and gaining those yards.
A first down carry by Elliott. And he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. 2nd down.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces, and I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where there'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
So 7 yards from the first down here as they come up to the line of scrimmage.
After the penalty, it's Elliott. And not able to break away this time as they're going to stop him right around the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there, and it'll bring up 4th down. The kick by Maher is good, and that will extend their lead even further.
Well, ultimately not really sure that they're going to need those 3 points, but they'll take the 3 and they pad that lead.
Yeah, this one's already wrapped up, but you and I both know if you're an offensive coordinator, you never let up on the gas unless the head coach tells you to do so. And maybe you've actually clicked him off in your headset so you can keep calling plays and trying to add to this lead.
The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. Set to begin their next drive, the Rams offense at the line.
Facing a big fourth quarter deficit here, things not looking good. You know, this offense, though, they've been in the top half of the NFL so far this season, but in this one, well, their defense has really struggled.
And they're able to get this one across the 35. Solid way to start the drive, 13 yards, picking up the first. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Throwing is Stafford.
Looking for Cooper Kupp again, 2 in a row.
They'll go for a gain of 7, and it's 2nd down. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
And they'll get this down to around the 47-yard line.
Well, that was a pretty favorable situation there. What would you call that? 2nd and manageable? Smart play, too. Didn't force it downfield when he didn't have it. Just checked it down, let him get the first down, and that's exactly what he did.
And they'll get this down to the 42-yard line.
You got the big lead defensively. Willing to give him that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
Throwing again on 2nd down. Stafford.
That's into the hands of Akers, complete.
And he's going to have another 1st down here as the tackle's made at the Cowboys' 23. 19 yards to pick up there. Move the chains. On 1st down, Stafford here.
To the right side and complete to Jefferson. And he's going to be brought down at about the 16.
Always laugh when people say, what's the toughest route to defend? And I'm like, any of them, especially if it's a good receiver. That makes things very difficult. But when you're running a drag route, something short, shallow, going through defenders, using guys almost as screens in order to get open, that makes things tough for guys trying to get to the football.
And that's another play that's painted the picture of this game overall. It's been a blowout. It's been continually fueled by big turnovers and stops for one side and an inability to advance the ball from the other.
Stafford on 3rd down. And he's got it. That's Kupp for a Ram touchdown. A great effort there. His 1st touchdown on the year.
And the Rams are able to cut into that deficit.
The Rams leave the offense on the field. They'll go for 2. Stafford's going to try and throw for it. To the goal line, but it's incomplete. So unable to throw it in for 2 from the 2. Let me ask you, as a former DB, what changes there around the goal line on a 2-point conversion as far as how you're defending it?
You just make sure you never back up and you never retreat. You establish yourself really on the line of scrimmage, put your heels on the goal line at worst, and if they're going to throw the ball, make them throw it over your head because they're going to run out of space because of the back of the end zone. Never let a guy catch one in front of you.
About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense.
It's been a dominant performance to this point, Charles, and this is probably exactly how they scripted this and envisioned it. They got a 3-score lead, 4th quarter, and a chance if they want to continue to pour it on here.
It is their call, isn't it? I mean, the way that they have taken on this game and the way that they have carried this game and have dominated this game, you're exactly right. Do what you want down the stretch. We are in the era of, hey, if you don't want us to do this to you, then you need to stop us. Their call to finish this one off.
Elliott going to get it again on 2nd down.
And he'll get this up only to about the 33. 2 yards on the carry there, and it's going to lead him to 3rd down.
That's it. That's what you want. Straight ahead positive gain. Just keep that clock ticking.
The Rams go nickel here defensively on 3rd. to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. 14 yards that time and a first down on the keeper.
How about that there? No frills, no additives, right? Nothing crazy. Just find a way to pick up the first down. A nice run right there.
They'll try and run some clock now with Elliott. And he's going to take this one across midfield and into Ram territory. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be second down.
I have to chuckle to myself a little bit, Brandon, because right now I could be in that huddle with that offensive line. I know exactly what they're saying. If you call a pass play here, we're going to call timeout. Run the football. We've got control of this thing. Get in behind us and let's go.
Their time to shine. So this one will end in a victory for the Dallas Cowboys. And it was a game where they were off and running in the first quarter, Charles, and never looked back.
You know, partner, after a while, we always say the same thing, don't we? They set the tone early, right? They started fast. So I asked a few of my horse racing friends, do you have a term for me that we can use to cover that? And they said, yeah. When a horse breaks out like that, you say he caught a flyer out of the gate. And that's exactly what this team did today. I mean, they jumped out there, jumped on them, and were never headed.
So for the Cowboys, they improved to 5-0 now on the young season. So that'll do it for my partner, Charles Davis, and the best darn crew in the industry. I'm Brandon Gaudin. This has been a presentation of the NFL on EA Sports. From Los Angeles, so long, everybody.
Yeah, that my Brooklyn, go see Chirac, Southside, C12, 911, grrr to the reality, we still outside. Mine on the riches, hard in the trenches. You can't throw dirt on the underground, we thrive in it. Ghana boys stocks on the rise, Charlie, this flex know they ready. See, we were not a ride nobody wave, we the ones who started with it. Translation, Yanni had to buy, Yanni had Yanni hits. This goes so hard, even the ops go with it, That's how you know we lit. Grrr,
Me taking no loss. We be the hottest on the scene. Gemstones from the dust. Big dog, but he leash. Where's the love in the streets? Pour my heart on the beat. See that blood on my sheets. Yeah, when me ready, me hit it heavy. I zoom out the pride of my people already. Tell my Ellie, me I'm just sharing my journey. I'm thankful that people they hear me. Tribe of Joseph, I'm ahead of the bunch. P5, I was starving for months. A running cutscene, but on my pockets, me need my DNA. Baby for lunch, but call me a star before BBC. Don't take a